Hi guys, welcome back to the Relentless Night Masochist Challenge, episode 10. We're still in Trapper's cabin, and yeah, we're getting ready for another day. Now, one thing I got to tell you guys up front is that for the first time in my recording history, I actually forgot to record the audio for this episode, and I don't really know how it happened, but it did. It could be something to do with my new mic setup. Like, I find that the USB is a little sketchy on my mic, and maybe that was it, or maybe I just forgot to click it. But anyway, guys, so I thought about putting up, just a silent episode, but on the other hand, I thought, one of the good things about these playthroughs is that we kind of get to be here together, and hearing somebody's voice through it is important to me. So I don't know what I'm doing. I'm kind of watching my playthrough again here, and I'm trying to give you some audio. I don't know. I'm complaining right now probably about my windbreakers, my socks. And basically the plan for the day is, what I'm making up my mind to do is we're going to go to Milton. And the idea is that I think I made up my mind because there's more clothing in Milton, and I'm stuck with those windbreakers, and I could afford to get another pair of socks and whatnot. So I think I make it my mind basically to go to Milton, and I talked about that a little bit in the last episode. When I think back to what I have available to me at the dam's probably got some good stuff, but it's a long trek, and Milton's closer, and it probably has more clothing spawn. I really want to get those combat pants, so if I can find those in Milton, that's huge. But we'll just see. I'm not going to get too excited, but either way, Milton's a good place. There's a lot of houses. There's a lot of it's close. It's a small area, so no major crazy travel. So what I'm doing right now is just reviewing my kit, trying to figure out what I should and shouldn't bring to Milton. Yeah, and probably had a lot to say here. I was thinking about the heavy hammer. On the one hand, I have to climb, so probably not a good idea to bring it, but on the other hand, I need some defense. I think in the end, guys, I end up bringing it, which might have been a mistake, but it is what it is. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and bring a bunch of coal, because there's not that much coal in Milton. So, I mean, there's some, and there's the Hushed River Valley Cave, which I don't know if I'm going to get up that far, but I'm going to need coal at least to keep me warm. So there's a little bit of coal on the way in that cave at the bottom of their little mini ravine, so in the climbing area, but it's only a few coal, so we'll just kind of do what we can. So here we are, guys. We're setting out for Milton. Big long load there. It's looking just nasty outside, and yeah, I think about I'm gonna take the. Okay, maybe I hadn't made up my mind yet. Sorry guys, it's just like a little bit foggy on exactly how this played out, but I guess I decided to go beat myself up with sticks a little bit. Oh, that's what it was. So I'm not full energy yet, and I want to go to Milton on a full tank. So what I decided to do was do a little bit of stick breakdown and tear up a few of these rabbits, because these rabbits will probably disappear by the time I come back. So the process here was just to tear up a few rabbits, get those hides going, even though I don't really need them, but better than have them disappear. And I might as well take the harvesting skill and future-proof myself for a little bit of repair. Although it sounds like rabbits are going to be just ubiquitous in this playthrough, because even though the wildlife dies off, the two things that don't die off according to wildlife reduction is rabbits and fish. So those two unlimited sources of food right there. And on Interloper, considering I'm pulling the 750 a day or less, whatever, 675 a day, I don't need much more than one rabbit a day. So yeah, once I get my harvesting skill up, I think one rabbit will probably cover each day. So Interloper is insanely light on food. Like, it's crazy how little food you have to eat in Interloper. And yeah, I think a Sleepwalker run on this would be near impossible. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead. What I'm doing is, I'm going to go do some more stick harvest, suffer a little bit. The idea is I wanted to burn some condition, because I was going to sleep anyway for 10 or whatever. Maybe not 10, but whatever I'm going to sleep for. I thought I might as well burn a little condition. Dave McGee's advice, right? Or at least general suggestion is to use your condition, right? So here we go, costing me. Now, Dave McGee pointed out last run in his comments that I left a whole bunch of buffs out in the shed there when I was doing the deer yesterday. Totally missed that. Feeling fairly stupid about that. But yeah, they're still there, and I didn't remember this episode, so got to try to remember for when I come back to this cabin that got that little surprise waiting for me. I can't remember how many, 3 or 4 buffs out there. So, gosh, yeah, it was just major oversight. And I think actually later in this episode, when I went to buff myself, I looked and I had very few buffs compared to what I remembered, and I was just like, what? But I didn't make the connection then. So, anyway, thanks, Dave, for catching that. Appreciate it. So yeah, just we're just gonna sit here, and the thing about sitting back here is actually it's kind of relaxing. I get to just sort of narrate a little bit without having to think about what I'm doing. So, and I know what I'm doing here, so I'm just kind of microing, getting ready to go, retire myself, do another stick. Yeah, so just looking, me and Aaron were on the Discord and talking about he's running into some problems right now because they just updated the game to 1.6, I guess, the latest release, right? And it broke his mods, right? Broke the mod loader, so he can't play this. So he's got to roll back, and he's struggling with it. So there is a way to do it. I saw it. If you're interested, guys, there's a way through on the Long Dark modding Discord. They talk about Z, obviously fake accent is what the user that talks about. He has the command line code for Steam to download older, at least 1.56. So. I mean, that's the thing, guys. Like, I'm kind of I love mods, okay? So, I love mods. Mods, to me, are so great in games. I love it. Like, I'm not going to, on my channel, like, we're doing the Long Dark right now because I love the Long Dark and it's crazy awesome. But boy, do I want to branch out. Like, I'm thinking of other games I want to do playthroughs for, and there's so many games and there's so little time, But honestly, I'm getting such a kick out of playing these games with you guys and getting feedback and stuff. It's just a whole different gaming experience for me, man. I've basically been gaming like on my own forever, and to suddenly have company is huge. It's been just so much fun. So I appreciate all your comments, all the guys and gals that are watching. They're not that many of you, but any really is better than none, and I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. So that is to say that I'm thinking about other games to play, and when I think back on all my favorite games, it's like they're all modded heavy, So I've got the one that came to mind is Kerbal Space Program. Got about 1,000 hours in that at least, and that's a modded game. Like nobody plays vanilla Kerbal Space Program. I mean, vanilla Kerbal Space Program is a great game. Don't get me wrong. It's got issues, but it's a good game. But the mods take it beyond and make it awesome. Fallout, all the Bethesda games, right? Like who plays a vanilla Bethesda game, right? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't dream of it. There's so many good mods. I spent all last Christmas doing hardcore mod workups for Fallout. I think I mentioned this before, but for Fallout and Skyrim, Fallout New Vegas. And yeah, I don't know if those are exactly suited to full playthrough videos, but they might be worth a showcase. They look great and they feel great. What else? I just came across, so one of my favorite all-time games, I just came across Silent Hunter 3. It's funny, I was moving and I moved my house around, and I was kind of in the back of my mind thought, am I going to run into Silent Hunter 3? Where's that disc, Sorry, just to come back to reality here, guys. I'm just scheming about whether I should bring the arrowheads or not, and I reason that there's no way I'm going to manufacture them out there. I think I end up bringing one arrow shaft, though, in the off chance that I get in a tight pinch and need to make an arrow from a broken one. But in the end, actually, I probably should have brought that. Anyhow, what was I saying? Yeah, so I did encounter the Silent Hunter 3 install disc. Silent Hunter 3 is like a 2005 game. I put honestly, guys, I don't even want to know how many hours I put into it. We're talking like several thousand hours probably. And back then I was, single in school. So yeah, it was, kind of a lot of gaming time on my hands, and what a great game, and wow, is it awesome with mods. And I just looked into it, and they've taken that game, I stopped playing probably in 20 2009 maybe, and the guys and gals have been modding it since. Like they've just been modding it right through till recently. So I'm kind of excited, you know. I don't have the time for it these days, but I want to get back into it. Silent Hunter 3 is a great game, guys. So anyway, that is all to say that I love modding. I don't actually do the modding itself, but I love the fact that games can be modded. I love that people go out there and tweak them and make them, you know, add cool content and nuances to them. And I just, so anyway, in the long dark, yeah, this Relentless Night thing's awesome. I'm loving it. And I think personally, like, I hope that in the later releases they open it up to mods again, because, you know, they basically, with the latest release 1.6, stymied the whole mod community. You know, everybody was playing mods a day ago is broken now, right? So, and Aaron's one of them, and he's hurting about it. So everybody's got to roll back that wants to play mods. So, you know, I don't know. I understand that the devs can't make mods their priority. So here we go, guys. I'm off to Milton. I think I just took my snares back. I didn't want to leave them out in the wind, but that's probably what I just did. I was talking, but anyway, I think, honestly, like games, Silent Hunter 3, if it had never been moddable, would have died in the water. It would have sunk right up, you know. It'd been cool for a year. I played vanilla Silent Hunter, don't get me wrong, I played it. I read the review for it in PC Gamer on a plane way back then, and I was like, I'd never even considered playing a submarine simulation. It never crossed my mind. And anyway, I played the vanilla game, absolutely fell in love with it. Fell down the rabbit hole of submarine simulations, which I was just obsessed with for a while. They're so cool. And you know, I love war history and stuff, so it was just awesome. But anyway, then the whole mod, it got me into modding. That was the first game I got into modding. So anyhow, and again, not actually creating mods. I'm just a gamer. I don't know. I can't find the time, but I just appreciate everybody that mods these games, you know. So I was just gaining there for a sec, and then I started losing temperature again. So I wasn't quite sure what was happening with this cave. -2, so it's really close. And one thing, guys, so Aaron and I were talking about this, like connecting caves. It turns out that they are the bomb in this mod. So, I mean, they're the bomb in regular Interloper, but it turns out that this cave is much warmer than Trappers. And here I was at the entry with -2, but what I found out is when I went deep, it actually gets pretty warm. And remember, I'm wearing like nothing for clothing, you know. I'm just in sweatshirt and windbreaker. Like I'm in fall, like early fall clothing, and it's -90 outside. So, but yeah, remember this mod is only 30% interior. Only 30% of the exterior temperature is commuted to the interior. So compared to my Sleepwalker run, it was 50-50. That's a lot worse. That's 50% of the outdoors. So if the outdoors is -90, that's -45 being commuted to the indoors. Here it's only, what's 30% of 90? Like 20 something? It would be 33 if it was 100. So I don't know, guys, you know what I mean? But it's less. So it's less. So anyway, I start this fire up and discover that, like, whoa, you know, we're here on day whatever I am. I don't know, day 20 or something. And maybe I'm only day 18, I can't remember. But basically, like, this cave is really warm. Like, if I had myself all my advanced gear, my wolf skin, you know, or even just a couple of ski jackets, I'd be sitting pretty right here without a fire. I'd just be like, you know, I'd be doing my nails or something. So basically, I don't know if Shieldheart intended connecting caves to be this warm, but they're turning out to be a majorly awesome possibility for Relentless Night and for this Masochist challenge. So I'm thinking back to Desolation Point. I'm wishing I was still there, because that has the best connecting caves. It's got the mine, and it's got the cave out on the way to Coastal Highway. Those are 2 coal caves. They're close to the rabbit spawn. Like and there's tons of sticks around there, around the church. So, you know, that would be a great spot. And the only trick would be to get late game gear. So go find your jackets and all that, and make your late game gear. And hey, I wouldn't be surprised if you could just sleep in there without a fire. So, you know, that's the holy grail, is going to be sleeping without a fire, because you'll be able to stockpile fuel then, you know, and really just conserve matches like crazy. You only use matches when you do cooking, and you do massive cook-ups then, right? You cook like, you know, 50 pieces of meat, right? You cook like 50 days worth of meat in one match. So that's the plan. So again, that's my overall strategy, is to get to basically to the state where I can sleep indoors somewhere without a fire, so I can get into like the stockpiling mentality, get the real prep going. And yeah, so I discovered in here that it is okay. I don't know. It's hard for me to follow what I'm actually doing here, but I decided to do repair on the underwear just because, to kill a little bit of time and warm up. Yeah, did a couple of buffs. I kind of wanted to go out with a full temperature, but yeah, I did actually. So here's me trying to get torches, right? And I struggle with torches. This playthrough I have not a lot of luck getting torches, so sorry if I'm talking so much. You guys are probably used to like me basically like talking every once in a while, and here I am just chatting away. But it's a different thing just watching my playthrough. I mean, I actually considered doing my commentary this way because it's so distracting to do commentary concurrently, you know. You end up saying a lot of like random stuff and not completing sentences and getting confused and stuff. But in this game, a lot of it, the palpable tension comes from the real-time nature of it, like when you're sort of in a wolf zone. And you'll see, it gets a little bit dicey later in the episode, and I'll try to fake my apprehension, but yeah, it was real at the time. So yeah, the real discovery of this whole episode, I would say, is that this connecting cave was still warm, and it gave me great hope. Great hope. I was kind of fretting in Trappers. I was blizzarded in, and it was clearly like I was needing a fire, you know, and that wasn't a good feeling. You know, I didn't feel like even if I had all my kit, was I ever going to get comfortable? But to be so close to above in this area, like look, I'm above with a torch, guys, you know? It's amazing. So I'm within 2 degrees of being above, so that's just a ski jacket away. Amazing. And yeah, it'll get colder, but hey, if I stock up on, you know, get some extra heavy gear, I don't know. It might not even need the wolfskin coat, you know? So we'll just see. I don't know when the temperature mins. I think it's something like... So I went for the coffee just to give myself that buff because I plan to make the climb and everything all in one go here. I'm not going to decide I'm probably not going to set up shop in that cave at the bottom of the climb area because I'd have to make just a crazy fire to keep it going. It would be like, we'll see when we get down there, but I considered it, but it's cold. So we pop out here, and it's pretty funny, actually. Long load, and boom. My torch was out before like during the load, you know? So we run this. Basically, I decided, guys, to leave all the cattails because why carry them down with me? I'll get them on the way back. Although, actually, now that I think about it, as I formulate, you know, later in the episode, I was formulating. I actually might make my way back through the basin. So, but anyway, these are really accessible from Trappers, so they're a great like emergency stash. So I leave them behind. And there's tons of cattails in Melton, so, you know, I don't know if I'll end up harvesting them all because it's so cold, but there's really a lot. But like I was saying earlier, guys, I don't think food is almost even a part of this challenge because, you know, because the Interloper thing, you know, you need especially because we've got the efficient machine perk. We're talking about 675 calories a day. Well, you know, peanuts. So, like, really, you know, that's a bunny. Almost, you know, it's a bunny, and like you take a herbal because you're hurting, and there you get your 10 hours. It's just anyway. I'm really not concerned about food. I don't even think I really need cattails. I just keep the snares going. I'll be well into bunnies. When I get back, I'm going to set up 2 extra snares, do the 4 snare, maybe even take it 6 snares if I get greedy. And just roll with it, you know, and crank them bunnies in and just keep the bunny farm going. I like it even better than, you know, long term there was the possibility of setting up the fishing operation, but you got to keep a fire running for that. I could keep the bunnies going, you know, I'd be good. And if I was operating under that connecting cave, actually, I could keep the bunnies going and work the bunnies over at the bear spawn as well. And just have an insane bunny farm. I mean, it's a little exploity, I'll admit it. Like, I don't feel great about the fact that the bunnies don't die off with all the other animals. They should. And I just don't know. It's probably out of the realm of Shieldheart's capabilities or within the game's moddable capabilities, but yeah, it's a little exploity, you know. But I was saying to Dave, it's like they're these magical bunnies that pop in and out of existence. They're bunnies that exist on a different plane. Alright, so yeah, we checked this cave out. I think I get matches, right? Yes. Oh, so good. I think I decided to leave the firewood, but I take all the coal because of the weight thing. And that was a pretty nice coal harvest there. Negative 53 though, so that would be 2 coal at least to start this thing up, so not going to do it, wouldn't be prudent. We still got tons of energy and we got that coffee buff, so we're going to hustle our way over to the climb and just pay for the condition penalty. Now this spot right here I was thinking of on my way through. My buddy TLDPL, he's the Polish long dark player. He did a 60-day Relentless Night run on Interloper and he passed away here. I just saw it happen. He faded out, and it was a little while ago, like a week ago or something. And he made it through here, but he got up to Milton, and it was a grim moment. But you know, he had a good run. He had a really good run, and yeah, it was epic. So TLDPL, thinking of you, man, when I go through here. Yeah. So this is one of those grueling trudges where I don't want to sprint because I got to do the climb, but I'm just hemorrhaging condition, right? And it's one of those pain walks that the game is so full of, you know? Especially this mode is so full of the pain walk. The pain trudge. And here we go, coming up with some stinks. So I was actually a little nervous about this. I don't know if animals, specifically wolves, can smell you from a different level. Like, so if I were down at the bottom of that ladder and I had 2 stink and there's a wolf that happens to be over by that park sign, would he come to the edge kind of? Or my instinct is that if he can't path to you, he's completely unaware of your existence. And you know, I know Pest was telling me about that sort of, I don't know if it's a glitch, but it's just it's a thing. But so yeah, it probably doesn't happen, but I was definitely nervous, especially when this music kicked in. I was nervous coming to the top here that a wolf was setting up on me already. So I got a really hinky feeling right now. Yeah, I was just worried, and I have no audio because of the storm, and I was just ignoring like the rose hips and just there's other good stuff around here. I think there might be some saplings, but I tried to spot them there and didn't see them. So anyway, I got to this hut and was like, phew. But then when I got inside, I found out that it's still negative 53. So a +5 bed doesn't do a lot for you in that case. So this is not the place you want to set up shop long term. But this place is pretty warm on Interloper in a regular game. Like, I feel like with reasonable clothing, you can sleep here in Interloper. And yeah, this was kind of a nada search. There was trail boots, and now in retrospect, I'm wondering if I should have taken them. But I know that Aaron's, he's big on the boots. He's big on the trail boots because they're lighter. Although, having found that, so I was despairing at the idea of getting advanced clothing. Okay, I got really spooked here because this is Wolf Valley, and I thought I heard something, and I got really spooked. And here's the thing, guys, this is not a blizzard. It's not. It's a pre-blizzard. So it's probably the most dangerous possible situation. It's almost no visibility, but wolves are out. And yeah, hear that? Way out there. So I was getting mighty hinky right now. So trying to take my way down here. I want to maintain my lines of sight so I don't get charged. Just trying to work my way around. and then I got barked. So that guy coming up from the back, which was okay, and I was real nervous here, obviously, coming over this hill, that there'd be another one who was onto me because of the 2 stink. I hear some sounds. It's ugly. So I just kind of went on faith here, guys. Yeah. And it looked okay. And here comes that old bust the door down while a wolf's walking up on you. And it was done. So there we are, safely in the old gas station. Interesting, I just saw it, about 50% hypothermia risk there, which is cool. Aaron was saying that in his record playthrough, 74 days or 75 days, or whatever it was, he died of hypothermia. And I was like, wow, I've never even got hypothermia. I don't even know how to get hypothermia. So there I was out in the wind for, I lost about 30% condition maybe. We'll see after the fire starts, but let's say 30% condition. And I had about 50% hypothermia. Let's just see. I couldn't even see it. Oh, maybe more like 40. So if that's 50% hypothermia risk, so you'd have to lose 80% of your condition. You'd have to basically lose your entire health bar, condition bar, in order to get hypothermia, based on that math. I don't know if it's right or not, but yeah, well, that would be why I've never ever gotten hypothermia. And I want hypothermia. You know, it's one of those afflictions that you think in a freezing game with winter nightmare conditions, hypothermia would be a major thing. You'd be on the edge of hypothermia at all times. You'd be getting hypothermia. You'd be recovering from it. I was excited to get hypothermia. I've never had it. And same goes for frostbite. I mean, this would be our 2 big diseases, right? Or afflictions, frostbite and hypothermia. And you can get frostbite. It's tricky to get it, but you can get it. But yeah, hypothermia, it's really hard to get. Hypothermia, you gotta work on it. And I think that's silly. Like, and especially with frostbite, you know, they added those craftable mitts and hat. So essentially, they eliminated any real possibility of frostbite. The only time you'd ever get frostbite, unless you do something stupid, is you just get unlucky and you don't find your hat and your mitts for like, you know, for like the first week. I've seen that happen. I think that happened to Turkey once, and you know, then you're running some real risks, and you're kind of dodging around, playing games with frostbite, which is cool. That's the way it should be. But now that with the craftable stuff, I mean, it's really not that big a deal. If you were desperate, you just hunker down and make yourself some mitts. So hypothermia should be more of a real concern. So yeah, I realized that I need a torch to see anything. So I was kind of like, I don't know why I did that coal. Oh, I wasn't planning on sleeping here, so I decided to just beef up on warmth. And I need light to do the search. And boom, look at that, guys. Coffee. Wow. So good. You know, amazing. Worth the trip to Milton already. Milton's always worth the trip. I mean, there's no such thing as a bad Milton trip. Okay, well, you can get roughed up by the wolves. I guess that would make a bad Milton trip, but it's worth it. It's worth it. And I brought my heavy hammer, so I'm ready to go. I can rock the rock. I think that's why I just decided to bring it. Actually, that cardboard box there, I found like, I think, definitely 2. I might have found 3 salty crackers in there, which was like crazy, you know. Each of those is like almost a day of Interloper. So, and I found some nasty food. I've seen this hut really full of food. This was medium, but I found it, like, at times I found it absolutely overwhelmed with food. There's another candy bar, and I found another hacksaw, which is cool, but, you know, not really that necessary, but hey. So I think I decided to break this crate down because I don't know why. And one thing I'm realizing I didn't do now was look to see if there's anything in it. I just left. Yeah. It's cool watching this back because I see all my mistakes, but that's if I stop talking for a second. Yeah, I think my natural amount of... Okay, so I decided to... I was going to harvest it, but I'm like, do I really need the scrap? There's tons of it in Mystery Lake, so I just ended up dropping it and leaving it for the next guy. Maybe Aaron will come through. But basically, yeah, like I talk constantly. In real life, I talk a lot, and when I'm playing video games, it's a lot less. So that's probably a good thing. So maybe it's like a sweet balance where when I'm playing video games, my concurrent ability to talk is kind of limited. So you guys are probably happy about that. This episode, I'm just letting it go. I think Turkey probably noticed, like on his live streams, I'm like chatty. I just let it fly. Right. So the dog food, 9%, guys. 500 calories won't cover the 10 hours, right? It's close, actually, but there's no point in me getting laid up here for 10 hours. It's just no point. It's just fuel I'd be burning, so I decided to just dump that food. There's tons of food out there, a few cattails, and I'm back in business, so I decided to let that go, and actually, I think I changed my mind and decided to sleep here for 10. Not sure, but let's just see. I think that's what I did. I decided to repair that up. Yeah, nice to have your sleeping bag topped up. There's going to be a ton of cloth in Milton, so I want to leave with about 10 cloth, but I want to have all my clothing just maxed. Cloth is probably not something I would cart out of Milton. Although long term, it's what I've noticed, getting here wasn't that bad. So I could do repeated runs here, like later if I survive, if we're on a late day and I'm out of cloth and I've exhausted the dam and everything, I could come back out here and just do a pure cloth run. It was actually quite easy to get here. It wasn't a big deal. I didn't even have to start a fire in that connecting cave. Sorry, the climbing area cave. So, got here with like, what am I looking at? 60, 55% condition. Really, really reasonable. Really reasonable given that you're going to recover 40% condition or something when you sleep, or 30% condition. So yeah, so drink some water, hopefully. Remember to do that. Okay, so I decided to put the 10 in, I think, guys, by the looks of it. And yeah, I decided to go for broke here to do the 10. And I get a little nervous, so toss a couple more sticks, take it to 11 hours. Drink it up. And let's hit it. Put 10. Nothing like a good guaranteed sleep with warmth. And I think what happened was I put 10 in, but I didn't realize I wasn't going to sleep for 10 because I wasn't fully exhausted. So I woke up with like 4 hours left in the fire. But look at that condition recovery, guys. Oh no, I slept for 10 because I was thirsty. So yeah, but then curiously I woke up with 4 hours and I was confused by this. I think that might be that, I don't know why that is. Does this count as an external fire? Shield heart, we've lengthened the burn time by 2, so it's a factor of 2. But I thought that was accounted for in the time, not in like duration. So I'm not sure why I left the gut behind. I'm not sure about that now. I left the gut behind. I think I popped my head out the door just to see what's what. And that's a really bad place to pop out because you're staring at a rise. So you're just waiting for a wolf to jump you there. Yeah, so I decided to torch up and find some half-decent torches for a change. So I've just been dealing with just terrible torches recently. So I left Aaron, pretty bad can of dog food, and some death fish and a hacksaw. Everything he really needs. I have a feeling Aaron would take that food. He's a bit of a food hoarder. In Sleepwalker, you saw me. I eat that kind of food in Sleepwalker because Sleepwalker, you're such a calorie hog. You need your 3,000, 3,500 calories. You can't afford to pass up a 9% dog food. That's just business time, right? So, okay, I'm a little surprised. Did I go for the car? I'm pretty sure I searched the car. Yeah. I just did that little walk out there to see if I could, draw any close wolves out of the woodwork. And do this. I hate that blowing snow, like snickering sound. That sound. It's terrible.
Need to find some place to
It's terrible. It sounds like footsteps to me. Yeah, so the mitts were interesting, but not that interesting ultimately. So we got the hypothermia. It's on. We're already starting to bleed. I think that hut's always empty. So in a normal game, I would do the big loop over the. I would decide to go warm up again, I guess. And now that I look at it, I would have checked on the way out that. Okay, so guy needs to warm up bad here. What's he gonna do about it? Pass some time somehow. I decided to torch myself into insanity here. How did I kill time? Somehow. What do I do? Couldn't figure out what to do. Drink a little water. For lack of a better idea. I should have got some buffs going. I don't know why I didn't think to do that. Why not, eh? Drop a liter. Didn't need all that water. There's so many toilets in this town that guy can keep his water up the whole way. Decided to check my kindling. I've got 8, so that was fair. Yeah, so I just basically like hung out for a bit. I guess I decided to break a torch or 2 down. Yeah, because my stick situation wasn't great. Yeah, so there's a few not great torches. Tear them down. The slowest 2 minutes in history. Yeah, so one thing I would recommend, guys, is if you, well, most of you already had your game update already, but it depends. I mean, Crossroads Elegy might be worth the update. I can't say. I haven't played it, but oh, why did I do that? I was like, oh, really? Okay. Yeah, okay, I decided to break a crate just to take a little bit extra fuel with me. I know Aaron would have stripped this place. He would have broken everything down. He's great at accumulating fuel. Yeah, you know, it's so interesting, you know, we're both playing this and we're totally, like, our strategies are very different, you know, and it's cool. It's actually a pretty doable game mode because you see 2 guys doing it so differently and being okay. And, you know, guys, that's the essence of replayability, you know, when you can do the game different ways, and it's just awesome. This is an awesome game. Hinterland, good on you. You made an awesome game. And Shieldheart, good on you. You made an awesome mod. So the 4 Days of Night thing's coming up soon. And I saw the post that they said that they're like, yeah, sorry, we didn't have time to do anything to it, so it's just the same as last year. Why, oh why not just make it a challenge? If it's going to be just this rehash of last year, just make it one of the challenges. Like, why? It's obviously not special to you, to Hinterland, because they don't put any care into it. So just make it a challenge so everybody can play it whenever they want. Why do we have to, like, you know, it's just dumb. But here, like, we've got Shieldheart stepping in to give us something even better than 4 Days of Night. You know, this is End Days of Night. And so thank you, Shieldheart. You've done us a major service. And for those of you that can roll back your game, you can still play it. I actually disable Steam updates, so I don't let Steam... For games that I'm modding, I would never let Steam mess with it without me saying so, because Steam will just, like... Steam will do stuff to you. I had that problem with Skyrim, you know. So Skyrim Special Edition, guys. Okay, so let me get back on task. This is a dangerous area, so enough talk about random stuff. Okay, so I heard something. This was a scary moment.
Damn it. So hungry.
But I couldn't tell where. It might have just been the shack making that sound. And there it is. Bark. From a weird place, too. Like, I don't know where this guy came from. But he popped out over there. So he must have been way over, and he came after the 2 stink. So yeah, I guess you know, Aaron is so immune to the fear of wolves. It's got to be his military training. I get scared. Right now I'm watching this. I'm not even playing it, and the barks make me nervous. Like I'm scared. Here he comes. Look at this evil guy coming around the corner on me here. So I decided to try my old bait trap. And I don't know what it is with me this game, but I'm just really not making good shots here. So here's some weird stuff happening because I equipped it directly off the... So we got a bleeder, which is good. But yeah, I had the bow drawn and I equipped it directly. The torch directly, and it's caused some issues in a sec. Yeah. So bleeder's a good thing, but it's a bad thing because he's got my arrow and I have to find him. There he goes. I don't know. Oh, he's all the way up there. I was so scared in this area, you know, because there's often multiple wolves that I didn't really have the kind of gumption to like hunt him down, which I should have, but yeah, so some funny business happened there. Anyway, not a huge deal, but I know torches can be really buggy. Like if you climb with the torch and stuff, like weird stuff happens. It gets stashed in your inventory burning, and then if you drop it, the game crashes. And there's just like a lot of bad stuff that can happen with torches. But so yeah, I was under the impression that there's not another wolf here. And I'm interested to see what happens here. Oh, I see one. Oh, he's still running out there past in the distance. Okay, so here's something weird happened. I got spooked here big time. Yeah, I saw that. There was a wolf right there. I saw it. You guys, you may have to go back a second, just pause the second that I came out of that car. I was looking at a wolf's bum facing away from me, and I could hear his footsteps, but he's not there anymore. So there's some weird stuff happening with the wolves right now. There's some teleportation going on. I think it's the injured wolf. I've seen them do this. Teleport. They kind of do like a weird jump teleport. So that's probably what's going on there. But yeah, it was weird, and it freaked me right out because if it wasn't a teleport, it meant there was a healthy wolf right beside me. But I don't quite see how we could have got there. It had to be a wolf teleport. But yeah, definitely gave me the jitters. This whole area, it's always jitters, you know. This is a jitter zone. It's kind of close and tight, and there's almost always wolves around. So I'd love to know where that wolf went. I guess I saw him running over that way. So maybe I should go look for him over there in the next episode. But so spoiler, I don't find him in this episode. There's so much to harvest in Milton. Milton is so insanely bountiful that, I mean, I could spend a long time here. But yeah, we're in it for clothing. Like, that's the main thing. So I found out that in here, so I found another sweatshirt, which was sort of disappointing. I mean, I've got one. And yeah, I started finding a ton of cloth, which I guess is okay. It means I don't have to rip it down, but yeah.
I might have to drop some gear.
So normally what I do after each episode I record is I listen to it back and I edit out all the like coughs and whatnot and weirdness that's going on. I'm not going to do that this time because that would mean listening to this like episode like 3 times. So I know I've coughed a few times. I will try to see them. If I can see them in the waveform, I'll cut them. But sorry about that, guys. I've had like a permacold for like, I don't know, the last 2 months or something. It's just, I don't know. It's a daycare phenomenon. Yeah, popping out of a house in Milton, always a sketchy proposition. With blood everywhere, eh? Look at all that. So there was a couple of houses here. I was thrown off by the houses. Normally there's that the house with the flag is right when you come kind of into town. So it wasn't there, it was moved, which is unusual for me, but hey, I found it eventually. Yeah, these houses are slow to search, guys, so and there's I think the usual kind of dog food and whatnot you find.
Excellent.
Tomato soup, that's a good find, depending on the condition. But yeah, it's funny with Interloper, like, I just don't care about food, you know? Like, it seems like so optional. You could always just pop out the door and grab a few cattails and pull a night. Unless you're in Coastal Highway, and then you have to hike all the way to Bear Creek to get them. I saw Aaron do that the other day, and I was just like, oh, you poor guy. Because it's a long walk to Bear Creek. It's a beat down one way or the other. And Aaron's had a rough go in Coastal Highway. It's a cold, big map, and a guy can really get sort of drained in it. He had that really close call where he went down to the Staggers and pulled back from it. It was an amazing episode that he actually he made it. I was really, really happy to see that. It's been great playing this alongside Aaron. Like I was saying before, I mean, having you guys watch and be kind of present in my playthroughs totally changes gaming for me. And for such a lonely game and for such a lonely mode, you know, this challenge it's a lonely, horrible mode. There's no sunrises, you know. We're just here on our own in the dark for the whole time. I don't know if I could do it just on my own. I don't know how Aaron did it 75 days on his own. But I appreciate the company, and it's been great doing this alongside Aaron. It's just like, you know, we're kind of like kindred spirits. We're about the same point in our run, and kind of it's nice to know that he's out there somewhere, you know, and kind of warms it up a little bit. Honestly, this would suck on my own. So yeah, this place always has a ton of books, so I decided to just light it up. Burn them all. I don't want to carry them around. But I mean, look at our energy level. Like, we're really well off. And we're super gaining temperature now. That's great. And yeah, onerous cabinet searching, guys. That's the one thing about Melton. From a playthrough perspective, it's sort of like, I'd say the dam's a little more frustrating to watch, but see, the other thing about having a voiceover, guys, is I know that you don't necessarily have to watch this, right? You can just minimize, you can go surf the web or do whatever you're doing and just listen to me call it out, you know? When I'm watching people's playthroughs, so, you know, I kind of do that. I kind of listen in the background, and when there's an action scene or something I need to check out, I'll jump in. But I like just listening to you guys' voices, you know, as you go through the apocalypse. So no clothing. More books. Tons of books in here. So yeah, sports socks, guys, you know, like, bummer. Those were not the wool socks I'd hoped for. Yeah, so we did all that. So it was kind of a light house. Like, this is not great. So yeah, I think I decided to kind of take stock and see what we're about now. So it's an inventory check coming. I can feel it. We did a fair bit of searching there. Oh yeah, there's one more house. There's one more house nearby that I didn't check yet, and I think I'm kind of got. So yeah, I looked at these, and it's like I remember now that sweatshirt is 1 degree of wind protection and a half degree of temperature, and the thin wool sweater is the other way around. So it's actually better to have one of each, I think. So you have the kind of 1 and 1. I think, or maybe it's better to have 2 thin wool sweaters. Depends on what you care about, but for sleeping purposes, I guess actually the 2 thin wool sweaters would be better. Right, so maybe I should think about that going forward. Is if I find another, my instinct would always be to drop the sweatshirt and to keep the thin wool sweaters. I mean, it's wool, you know, wool is the bomb. So I probably would have done that anyway, but I'd have to think about it. And yeah, I think raw temperature is better because my main goal is to be able to sleep indoors. So yeah, glad we looked at this, got my head straight on it. So yeah, I decided to drop this stinky stuff because I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna dig next door and check out what's what. I think. Oh yeah, I decided to do I do this? No, because I'm going to try to find a ski jacket. There has to be a ski jacket. I think there's a ski jacket. I mean, there's grandmothers, which I actually really hope to find the combat pants there. I please deserve that. But the farm, there's my ski jacket's at the farm, guys. I can just tell you, it's there. I can't believe I haven't found one yet. Or a Mackinac, having searched. You've seen what I've searched, guys. Desolation, Coastal Highway. Not all of it, but a lot of it. A fair bit of Mystery Lake, you know. Trappers, Spence, and now like a good bit of Milton, right? And no ski jackets. I don't know what I was just looking at there. But, you know, I'm just complaining. But, yeah, it's been hard on me. It's been hard on me. Like, a lot of games you just have a Mackinac and a ski jacket by now, or at least a parka. Not that it makes a huge difference, but the sleeping indoors thing is appealing. Alrighty, so yeah, this house is the last house in the immediate vicinity. Grandmother's is ahead. There's the post office and stuff, which I hate the post office. Watch me find my ski jacket in there. That lantern fuel, yeah. I suppose lantern fuel is a premium in a permanent. Now the second tin of coffee, guys. So there we go. That's worth the trip. Just the coffee alone, I'd say 10 coffees. You know, bang. That's so good. So good. I love coffee. Makes you feel good. You know, coffee's not just an energy boost. It's not just that. It's a morale boost, you know, and this game's so much about morale. Like, keep coming back to that thing, you know, like that scene from The Edge where Anthony Hopkins is like telling a story about a guy that died out in the woods because he died of shame. Like, he just made a couple of mistakes and basically the shame defeated him. This game, that happens. You know, how many times have I gotten kind of panicky or stressed, and it's not quite shame, but it's a little bit like that. It's like I'm not happy with my performance. And, you know, make some mistakes, etc. So yeah, morale, something like coffee, just the psychological benefit does help you in this game. It gives you that sort of will to live. Now, Aaron has awesome psychological integrity. That guy, he's seen some really rough stuff so far in his run, and he just bounces back. He doesn't get phased. He just goes with it. It's amazing. Like, honestly, I don't think I would have made it through his death trudge to Quonset. I would have died. And he pulled through. It was really impressive. And he didn't get phased. You know, he just kind of like made his mind up to do it. I'm sure that had to do with a lot of his Marine Corps like walks he's done. I remember I did this walk once at an army walk where they walked us one way for a bunch of kilometers, and then the sergeant said, "Oh, gee, I made a mistake. We went the wrong direction, so we had to walk all the way back and then the other direction by, you know, the same distance." So again, you know, morale. So I don't know, actually, did I miss a house across the road? I have to look back at the replay because I can't remember. I think there's one more house across the road. Should have just done it there, but not sure why I didn't. I think I was thinking that the episode timer was getting kind of close to the end here. Little did I know I hadn't been recording audio the whole time. I'm gonna have to check on that, guys. That was bad. Plus, I don't know if you noticed last episode, my boom mount is not working. It was bouncing like crazy, and you could hear a buzzing and like a humming. So that was not good. I had to filter it, and my voice ended up being a bit tinny last episode. Anyway, I was still working at the sound stuff. I was looking at shock mounts, but they're pricey, and I don't even know if they're going to work. So I'm back to my mic just sitting on a doubled over towel. And this episode's probably quiet because I'm not touching the keys. we'll work it out, guys. I appreciate you putting up with it. So I looked at my food. Basically, I'm trying to figure out what to eat and sleep. We're going to sleep for 5 hours, I think is what I said in my mind. So look what we got here. Look at the contemplation. 6 hours. Okay, 5 hours. 3:38. So what am I going to eat? That thing. Bam. That alone is enough for the 5 hours right there. And yeah, we lost a fair bit of condition there in that little episode, that little thing we did. Yeah. So I think that's it, guys. I think I was. Yeah, I think we're gonna tie it off here. Just taking a peek at my rabbit carcass, thinking a little bit about what we're doing, but it was a good run. Like we got to Milton, and we searched a fair bit of it. There's still a lot of good stuff to go. There's old Grey Mother, so I've got my fingers crossed on that. Pop out to some nice weather too. Well, nice in the sense that -65. That is actually nice. You know, Milton might be a neat spot long term. I actually was considering Milton. I just didn't have any idea how warm the houses were. And I still don't really have a sense of it. But anyway, guys, it's been a good episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Sorry about the retrospective audio. And I'll catch you next time.